Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a very good day. So I have 4 tags for you guys today. I'm anticipating that this video will be quite long, so I have annotations at the bottom. Feel free to click on any of those links to jump to that specific tag in the video. But yeah, let's get started guys. Let's start off with the inside and out tag. This was created by Jeremy at MathomBooks. The inside and out tag is actually an acronym for each of the questions that Jeremy's created. So letter I, inside flap or back cover, is it enough information or too much information? For me, the synopsis is one of the main reasons that will get me to decide whether I want to read the book or not. So I haven't come across a book where the synopsis on the back or inside flap was too much information. I think it's just enough. However, with the sequels though, I do not read the synopsis at all. If the last book, the end of the book, is enough for me to want to read the next book, that's good enough for me. The next letter is N, new book. What format do you prefer the book in? Hardcover, paperback, audiobook, or ebook? New books, I prefer hardbacks. I do enjoy paperbacks while reading because they are flexible books. Same with ebooks, reading on an e-reader, it is quite easy to read from. The next letter is S, scribble while you read. Do you take notes? Do you write in your books? I personally do not take notes or scribble in my books. I just like seeing how the story flows, so I don't like being distracted or pausing to take notes or to write in my book. The next letter is I. In your best voice, read the first sentence in your favorite book. And I would have to read from my recently favorite book, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's a great sentence, so it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. However little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entering a neighborhood, this truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered as the rightful property of some one or other of their daughters. "My dear Mr. Bennet," said his ladies to him one day, "have you heard that Netherfield Park is let at last?" Mr. Bennet replied that he has not. "But it is," returned she, "for Mrs. Long has just been here and she told me all about it." Mr. Bennet made no answer. "Do you not want to know who has taken it?" cried his wife impatiently. "You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it." This was invitation enough. Okay. Pride and Prejudice. Letter D, doesn't matter if the author is male or female when deciding on a book. I've been reading a lot of male authors of the adventure action genre, and I only for most part choose books written by female authors when I'm looking for something cute or romantic. It's pretty bad. It's not good. Next letter is E, ever read ahead? And I sometimes do. I'm not one of those readers where I flip to the very last page of a book and read the last sentence. I am not that intense, but there are some moments where I do read ahead, like on the next page my eyes kind of wander. I do tend to just flip through to see what characters are coming up or what's going on. I try to resist. I don't want to be spoiled. I used to, I still do. I kind of cover last paragraphs of chapters with my hand because I don't want to be spoiled, because I know a cliffhanger slash twist is coming up. You have that feeling, don't you? So yeah. Letter O, organized bookshelves or outrageous bookshelves. I like a mix of both. I like organized bookshelves just for the functionality of it, but I also like outrageous bookshelves because it shows that you're kind of not afraid to handle your books, to pick up books, read through them. The next letter is U. Under oath, have you ever bought a book based on the cover alone? And I have not. No, I don't think. I think there were a couple of books where the cover was a big influence, but for the most part, I read the synopsis, I check what the book is all about first. However, I have bought books where the cover is not amazing and they're kind of but I bought them anyways because the synopsis sounded great and I wanted to read it, so that's what I do. The last letter is T, take it outside to read or stay in. For me, I stay in. I love reading indoors just because it's more quiet, I can focus more on the book. I'm not incapable of reading outside, reading on the bus, or anything like that. There's just more distractions and noise outside, so it's kind of difficult sometimes to get into a book outside of my room. So that's the inside and out tag created by Jeremy at MathomBooks. Next guys, I'm going to be doing the crazy book buying obsession tag. This was created by Jack at Reading with Jack. The first question is, do you have an obsession with buying books? And I want to say I do, but in retrospect, I don't think I have an obsession. Is that what people who have obsession say? They're kind of in denial. I'm very particular about books as well, so the story has to pique my interest for me to buy a book. It needs to be awesome. It does. The next question is when and where and how often do you buy your books? Do you go by yourself or do you go with someone else when buying books? I buy my books at Chapters or McNally booksellers. I usually go once a month to buy books. I love buying books by myself because there's no pressure to rush in the bookstore. I love browsing and looking in each section. If you leave me at the bookstore, I probably won't mind staying there till it closes. Pretty much. The next question is what kind of things attract you to books while browsing? Is there a specific genre of books you automatically go to? In Chapters, there are different tables specifically designed for certain books. You have tables if you love The Hunger Games, you'll love these certain books. And of course, I'm attracted to different and unique book covers. I love illustrated book covers. I love special edition books. As for going to a specific genre, I kind of just go mostly in the fiction section, the adult fiction and the young adult fiction, but I kind of browse my way through everything. So yeah, that's why I take a while in there. The next question is, do you prefer to buy new books, used books, or a mixture of both? I do prefer buying new books just because I want them to be specifically my books to keep and have forever. The next question is, how much are you willing to spend each month on books? If I spend about $50 a month on books, that would be fantastic. Usually though, it's around maybe 60 to 70, I would say, but no more than 100. That is my max budget for the month. The next question is, have you ever gone on a book buying ban? And I have not. That is insanely crazy. No, I don't do any book buying bans. I try my hardest to read all the books I purchase before buying new books because I feel bad for my old books. That's why I have a goal of reading all of my books a month, because if I do not, then I won't buy books. And I love doing book hauls. So this kind of leads into the next question. How long does it take you to read a book after purchasing it? I try to read it within the month that I bought it because you guys know me, that's how it works here on the readables. I do a monthly theme. My to be read pile is a goal of 4 books a month, and that is plenty for me. The last question is, do you prefer to buy a lot of short, cheaper books or fewer, longer, expensive ones? And for me, it doesn't really matter as long as I really like the book. If I'm interested in checking out the book, I will try to purchase it. So yes, so that is the crazy book buying obsessions tag created by Jack. So next guys, I will be doing the playing with your emotions tag created by Raylene at Padfoot07. So with this tag, I'm choosing a book that elicit one of these emotions Raylene has chosen. So the first emotion is happy, and I would have to give that to Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is one of the books I really enjoyed just because it was nerdy and geeky. Like me, there's a lot of video game references, a lot of 80s pop culture references. I was just smiling ear to ear while reading this book because I got a lot of the references and I just geeked out most of the time, so it was really fun, really cool. Yeah, it's so good. The next emotion is sad. So for me, I chose Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I know this isn't specifically a really sad book, but for me, while reading the series, I got really close to Dumbledore and Harry. I was quite emotional with Harry and Dumbledore. They got really close in this book, and I also really enjoyed the backstory to Tom Riddle's character, which was pretty sad to get to know. Yeah, so it had a very somber, dark tone to it. It was definitely heavy on my heart while reading this book for sure. The next emotion is angry, and I have to give that to The Death Cure by James Dashner. Oh my gosh, guys. Did this book make me angry? I was so mad. I was angry with Thomas's character. I was angry with how the plot was going. There was just a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of stalling, a lot of run around in the plot, and it wasn't satisfying. Loving the first book, The Maze Runner, and seeing the series kind of progress in a way that wasn't satisfying made me really angry. The next feeling is nostalgia, and I would have to give that to the Goosebumps books by R.L. Stine. And there was a TV series which freaked me out. I think my favorite Goosebump book, or my most memorable one, was The Haunted Mask. This freaked me out. How scary is that mask? And the episode was horrifying. You know, I read a lot of scary horror kind of books while growing up, while I was a kid. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz freaked me out. It was super scary. So that's kind of where my love for horror and just being freaked out and getting scared came from, because there were a lot of them available when I was younger. I don't know what that's all about. The next emotion is scared, and I would have to give that to The Monstrumologist by Rick Yancey. This series by Rick Yancey is one of my favorite horror stories. It's very dark, very gothic, very violent and graphic. If you want to check out something really terrifying and really kind of stomach churning, I suggest checking out The Monstrumologist by Rick Yancey. It's super good. The next emotion is surprise, and I would have to give that to Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I was super surprised about loving this book. I was hesitant reading Pride and Prejudice because I didn't think I would like it. I thought it would be one of those dry, kind of boring books, but it wasn't. It's so good. There's a lot of characters that you can relate to or identify with. Mrs. Bennet is one of those embarrassing crazy mothers you all know or probably have. Definitely check it out, guys. I have Pride and Prejudice on right now, kind of watching it. Darcy is walking through the field towards Keira Knightley / Elizabeth, you know, and it's fantastic. It is so good. Yeah. Okay, next. The next emotion is disappointed, and I would have to give that to Battle Royale by Koshin Takumi. Yeah, you know, I was blown away by the beginning. I love the action / gory / violent and graphic aspects of Battle Royale. That's what I was expecting, and that's what I got. The lighthouse scene was fantastically gory and violent. Other aspects of the book, from the characters and the plotline, just didn't match up with how intense and dramatic the action aspect was. You know, I wasn't too impressed with the main female character. I was hoping she would kick ass more, but she kind of didn't. I heard the manga version is very good, so I'll have to check that out and see if I like it any better than the novel. So we'll see. We'll see. The next emotion is distressed, and I would have to give that to The Ask and the Answer by Patrick Ness. Really, the entire series is kind of distressing in a good way. It's intense, it's dramatic. I love the characters. The characters are so emotional. It's very tense between the two. It was really great to see how they would overcome their obstacles and the danger they were in. I highly recommend this series as well. This is the Chaos Walking Trilogy series by Patrick Ness, so definitely check it out. Love it so. The last emotion is confused, and I would have to give that to Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. This definitely left me confused because I was really hoping to like this book because I heard it was kind of the next Twilight, and when I read the synopsis I was impressed that Nora seemed like a very relatable character, a very smart character, down-to-earth character. So when I started reading it I was confused by the events taking place, what was going on with Nora, what she was doing, and she didn't act very smart or level-headed at all. I read it fast enough, but I think what moved me forward was to see when the good parts would come, and there wasn't really any. Yeah, I didn't really have any inclination to check out the other two books. Sorry everyone who love Hush Hush. Alright guys, so that's my emotions for these books, and you know, some I love, some not so much, but it's just great to see how these books can elicit such strong emotions, and I think that's what's most important, is that you have some sort of emotion instead of feeling indifferent and kind of dead inside. Alright, next guys is my last tag. That is Renee's In Your Pants tag, which was inspired by the Vlogbrothers. Basically, you take your book titles, add In Your Pants to the end of it, and it instantly becomes hilarious, pornographic-esque kind of titles. It's funny, it's hilarious, and fun. My first one, couldn't resist. Can we get the return of the king in your pants? Where is he? Can we get him back? Please. Yes. Sure, there's Scott Pilgrim's Finest Hour in your pants. He's good, I heard. Very good. And an hour? Oh my goodness. Fantastic. Yeah. Hey Georgia, I couldn't help myself. I just couldn't. Your title just spoke to me. Niteria Rising in your pants. Yes. Next, why don't you unwind in your pants? Yeah? And of course I couldn't help but include I Am Legend in your pants. And these two, less sexy and more, you know, you gotta get checked out. We have Catching Fire in Your Pants. and the unidentified in your pants. Ooh. Yeah. So everyone, thank you for tagging me. I had a lot of fun. If you'd like to do these tags, feel free to do so. I will talk to you later. Bye!